What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse, and today we are checking out the brand new trailer for Marvel's Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. Nicki, are you a Skrull?
If I was, would I reveal that to you?
Good question. I guess there's only one way to find out, by watching the trailer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna start this new Secret Invasion trailer right now. Whoa, it's so secret.
And there's an invasion.
Since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse. How do you think I came back?
That's intense.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us.
Oh.
Olivia Colman.
Okay, we saw that before. That's still cool.
Yeah.
This is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet.
Whoa.
Do you feel responsible?
Where are the Avengers? This war is one I have to fight alone.
Oh.
You're the most wanted man on the planet.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
The great Nick Fury. One last fight.
Okay. Wow. All right. Jeez. That was intense.
It was intense, and I think it actually left me with way more questions than answers.
I mean, all right, let's try and piece this together the best we can. But yeah, it wasn't a very informative trailer.
Especially compared to the teaser we had before, which is not inherently a bad thing, but I certainly could not give you anything in depth based on that.
The first thing, like, there are Skrulls with powers. It's interesting because the Secret Invasion story arc in the comic book was this big, bombastic superhero story involving every superhero in the Marvel Universe, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Thunderbolts, Norman Osborn. It's craziness. And I think this is going to be scaled back, and it has more of a Captain America, the Winter Soldier tone to it. It's more going to be a spy espionage thriller, which I think is the right way to go in any story arc with the Skrulls. I have a lot of questions. One, there are Skrulls with powers, so are they studying metahumans? Well, that's DC, but are they studying powered human beings like they did in the comic books after capturing the Illuminati? And because Skrulls they have the shape-shifting ability, but outside of it's very clear the main Skrull bad guy, the main Skrull terrorist, can stretch his arm.
Yeah.
Sort of like, it was very reminiscent of the way Groot extends his limbs.
It was like vines.
Like Groot. So I wonder if maybe they studied DNA that they picked up from the battle at the end of Endgame.
So to be clear, that guy was a Skrull.
Yes.
Okay.
Because remember when Talos confronts him, we see all the other people turn into him?
We did. It was just, for a while, they were kind of subtle about it, I think. It wasn't like in the trailer, like, oh, look, here comes all these Skrulls. Like, they were, as the
being
title...
very subtle about it.
As the title implies, secretive.
Oh my god.
But at first, I think that even threw me off, which might even just be the intention of the tone they're going for.
I think we're on to something here. Because I'm glad you brought that up. The way he did extend his arm, it is like vines, and it is like the way that Groot extends his arms. So I wonder if they studied footage and DNA from the battles in Wakanda in Infinity War and the battle in upstate New York at the end of Avengers Endgame, and maybe they created a Skrull who has some of the abilities of some of these Avengers level characters.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool. That would be the first technical Super Skrull in the MCU, which I think is a really, really cool idea. Obviously, the first Super Skrull in the comics was a villain of the Fantastic Four, but this is a great way to introduce that concept into the MCU. Very cool. Nick Fury. Let's talk about Nick Fury and what's going on with him.
A lot.
Last time we saw him, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was in the post-credit scene of Far From Home, where we find out that the Nick Fury that was in that movie was Talos and his wife the entire time.
Yes.
And that Nick Fury is away on a Skrull ship that was just in outer space. So he was not off planet. And then he gets mentioned at the end of WandaVision that he wants to meet Monica in space.
Yeah.
Monica gets called up to space by a Skrull. Now, cut to here, Nick Fury feels the urgent need to return to Earth. And according to the always underrated Don Cheadle, he is the most wanted man on the planet. Why is that? I think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna joke. Emmy nominee Don Cheadle.
Emmy nominated for his guest appearance in Captain America and at the time Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's because the Skrulls used his visage, used his identity to commit an act of terrorism because he is Nick Fury.
But here's my question, and please correct me if I'm totally off base. Actually, it's more of a question. What was the tombstone in reference to, do you think?
Well, that was his tombstone at the end of The Winter Soldier, wasn't it?
It's been so long since I watched it.
Because remember, he does have a tombstone at the end of that movie.
You're right. I just wanted the refresher in case I wasn't missing anything, but...
And that's where he meets Steve and Sam at the end of that movie.
Yeah. Okay, no, I remember now. But yeah, I was just trying to think, because they definitely highlighted that in the trailer.
Yeah, and it has the Pulp Fiction quote on it. So I think it's the same tombstone, and obviously it is the tombstone. It's going to be a reveal that there is clearly weapons and stuff stashed in that mausoleum tombstone area. But pretty cool. So, but disconnect from that for a second. I think that they're going to use Nick Fury's identity to commit an act of terrorism, because who has more clearance on the planet Earth than Nick Fury?
Right.
You already have Talos impersonating him, so they know he's off planet. Which brings us to the next question: why are the Skrulls clashing with each other?
Yeah, I mean that's my biggest question, because from what we at least see in this is Talos seems to be on good terms with everyone. He is the pretty much almost the entire trailer as a human though, which is interesting. Yeah. I'm sure part of it is Ben Mendelsohn doesn't have to be in makeup as much, but at the same time, I actually really love that shot where he was slightly changing back on his face
when he was injured. Yeah,
right. But that's interesting. It's interesting to see what his role in this is and how it relates back to the other Skrulls.
Yes, absolutely. Because in the comics, Verenke, who leads the attack on Earth in Secret Invasion, is kind of a radical Skrull. She has a vision of the Skrull homeworld being destroyed, and she tries to force them to attack a different planet and seize that planet. They're against that. They imprison her on a prison planet. After the Skrull throne world was destroyed, she inherits the mantle of leadership of the Skrulls, and she starts a secret invasion on Earth. But this is clearly going to be different from that story arc, but I wonder if they're going to be taking bits and pieces of that and adapting it into this series. So maybe, because we kind of get that conflict between the Kree and the Skrull in Captain Marvel. Not to mention, by the way, it was just revealed by Entertainment Weekly over the weekend that Emilia Clarke will be playing Gia, the daughter of Talos, that we meet in Captain Marvel, the little girl.
Damn, that's the craziest thing, is to think of technically that much time has passed through it.
Yes, that makes sense story-wise, because she is technically grown by now.
Yeah.
So, and that takes away the mystery aspect of who Emilia Clarke is playing.
Yeah.
And it does look like in the trailer she's going to be helping.
Yeah, she's a heroic character, because
she looks to be doing some spying. And we see her enter that room with what appears to be people that the Skrulls are holding captured. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong.
It was very intense no matter what it was. It came off as very ominous, and she looked pretty shocked. So I would say that's a good assessment.
So that's pretty cool. So I think we are going to be getting a little bit of that. This terrorist group of Skrulls is breaking off because they believe that their homeworld will be destroyed. Where in the comics it was Galactus, I believe. I believe... No, actually it was 100% Galactus that destroyed the Skrull homeworld. It could be the Kree that does it, or it could be the Galactus. We got the rights to Galactus back, baby. Galactus could come and eat gulp, yummy, eat that planet. So who knows? It could be tons of different reasons. We have our first look at... no, not our first look, because I believe Olivia Colman was in the...
Yeah, we definitely knew that before.
Was in the last trailer.
I just got excited seeing her.
She's, great to have her in the MCU. We have Maria Hill back. We have Cobie Smulders back as Maria Hill. I really love that she's come back. We have Martin Freeman back.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of, I'm assuming this takes place post Wakanda Forever.
I would assume so, because he, like, just in this shot, he looks like he's a little bit on the run.
He does look like he's sneaking around.
Because we know he's in trouble.
He's in big trouble. No. After that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just scrolling through the trailer now, seeing if there's anything we missed. Definitely looks like high-profile people the Skrulls have captured, and of course, like we have all these characters, but this also asks the question: are they these characters, or are they Skrulls?
I mean, that's the ongoing joke I think that people have been making is you can't trust anyone. And in a way, we already got that with Captain Marvel in the sense that they were kind of everywhere and taking over everyone's identities, including Nick's himself. So this is definitely, in a way, not totally new territory. Yeah,
and Rhodey, another bit from that interview is that Rhodey is very high up when this show starts. He's essentially the president's right-hand man in this universe now.
Which I think makes complete sense. After all, he was already he already had a high-up position. He wasn't dusted, so he had the time to rise in the ranks.
Yeah, and, what better person for a Skrull to impersonate than someone who is that high up in the American political system?
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing is, I'm sure they're gonna go into that with the mindset of no one is trustworthy.
Yeah, but that's why I love it. Because the beginning of the Secret Invasion story arc, and we have to point out because they never addressed this in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it looks like it's gonna be the case in this. Rhodey is walking again without the braces that Tony made for him. So how is he walking again? I hope they explain that in this. Maybe it's the Skrull, or maybe
it's a Skrull. It could be super advanced technology that he's adapted. To be fair, I think in the MCU of all universes, I can see them having the advanced technology in past 2024 at this point to have adapted to that. But I think that's a good question to ask. Is he possibly a Skrull?
Yeah, I mean, this is weird.
All of it is weird.
See, this is so interesting because this says U.S. Department of Damage Control, specimen sample, Cull. Now, right here, Cull. Your first thought would be, oh, it's Coulson. But no, that's not how you spell Coulson. You want to know what is that, how you spell? That didn't make sense, but you want to know how you spell it? Cull Obsidian, member of the Black Order from Infinity War. Could that be his hand? And who would collect the remnants of the fight from Infinity War? The Department of Damage Control. These Skrulls are using specimen samples from Avengers fights to create Super Skrulls. Guys, that is what's happening. I figured it out right now. We did it. I was right. They took the pieces of Groot that were cut off during Infinity War and Endgame, and they made Groot Skrulls. They took pieces of the Black Order that were left after Infinity War. Whoa, my mind is being... Are you guys also having your minds blown by me right now? Because I'm blowing my own mind. Wow.
Just be safe.
Yeah. We have Elizabeth Colman with a pair of pruning shears. What did I say?
Elizabeth.
We have Olivia Colman. Sorry, guys, I'm too excited. We have Olivia Colman here with a pair of pruning shears going to torture somebody. What's that about? I don't know. We have someone running. A lot of excitement.
I was gonna say that the tone of this, I'm assuming, is also gonna be not that the MCU is kiddie-ish, but I think it has the vibe of being more mature. I mean, first of all, it opened with a logo that had blood splatters on it, and there seems to be a good amount of violence and death.
Oh my god, I think we nailed this, because even pulling up the screenshot of him extending his arm out, Like, it's Groot. It's 100% Groot.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, that it looks very tree-like.
I think we just nailed this. Like, guys, oh my god, we did it. Breaking news, you heard it here first. The Skrulls are building Super Skrulls. The terrorist cell of the Skrulls are building Super Skrulls using specimen samples from the DO Department of Damage Control. Didn't want to do this. Oh my guys, we nailed it. That's going to be a factor in this story. But that's all I got for right now. I'm too excited that we cracked that code. But I'm excited for this. I'm a lot more excited now. Very cool. This looks like tonally the Winter Soldier-esque story that we haven't gotten since the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like I said, I think it definitely comes off more mature and in some ways maybe even a little more gruesome than others. Like I mentioned, the blood splatter on the logo, like the
torture,
terrorism. Like, and I really appreciate that. Again, this is what these post-Endgame phases have been doing, is they've been kind of playing around with genres and tones.
Yeah.
And honestly, what's crazy is this is our first Disney Plus series since She-Hulk.
Since August.
That's insane.
October. It ended in October.
Which is crazy because like they were coming out boom, boom, boom all the time, and I do appreciate it more because
and we're not getting it until June. It's not like it's coming out next week. It's coming out in June. So
more than 2 months.
This
away.
This breather makes the longing makes the heart grow fonder. You know, absence makes our. I'm excited.
Right. One more quick question is, I guess it's a little bit twofold. Is would you anticipate even just briefly for Monica to appear and for parts of this to maybe lead into the Marvels?
I could see that happening, or maybe she had already appeared, because I imagine this takes place after she had already met Monica.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Because remember, that happens early. WandaVision ends pretty soon after Endgame, like a couple of weeks after Endgame, the final battle. And this seems to be taking place after that as well, because because Spider-Man Far From Home takes place months after WandaVision, chronologically.
Yeah.
So maybe Monica already met Nick Fury and she's out in space doing whatever. But maybe, you know, I mean, it's not like I would hate a Monica cameo. I mean, Nick is the closest to Carol out of anyone in the MCU, so yeah, maybe. My answer is yes. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. And until next time, guys, stay versed.